Good morning and welcome to today's NoorNews Bulletin. We begin with the devastating floods in Japan and the urgent energy crisis unfolding in Romania, followed by a major security update regarding the Strait of Hormuz. Let's take a closer look at these developing stories. At least 4 people have died in eastern Japan as record-breaking rainfall triggered widespread flooding and significant infrastructure disruption across the region. According to Al Jazeera, the torrential downpours have severely impacted transportation networks, leaving thousands of travelers stranded overnight at Tokyo's major transit hubs. Local authorities report that the extreme weather conditions have caused extensive road flooding and widespread power outages, complicating rescue and recovery efforts in the hardest-hit areas. Emergency crews are currently working to reach isolated communities, though rising water levels continue to obstruct access to several districts. Meteorological officials have issued urgent warnings, noting that the intensity of the rainfall has exceeded historical averages for this time of year, prompting concerns over potential landslides in mountainous zones. While the immediate threat remains high, officials are monitoring river levels closely as the storm system moves across the eastern coast. The government has mobilized disaster response teams to coordinate the distribution of aid and restore essential services to the affected populations. Further updates are expected as the weather system begins to weaken, allowing for a more comprehensive assessment of the damage to both residential infrastructure and the regional transport grid. Romania has been forced to shut down its only nuclear power plant as record-breaking heat waves cause a critical drop in the water levels of the Danube River. The Cernavodă facility, which is responsible for generating approximately 20% of the nation's total electricity supply, relies on the river for essential cooling processes. According to reports from the BBC, the current hydrological conditions have made it impossible to maintain safe operations at the site. Officials have indicated that the plant is not expected to be restarted within the next 10 days, as authorities monitor the river's flow rates and regional temperature trends. The shutdown highlights the growing vulnerability of energy infrastructure to extreme weather events linked to climate change. While the government is currently working to manage the power grid and mitigate potential supply disruptions, the prolonged closure raises concerns about energy security across the region. Energy experts are now assessing the long-term implications for the plant's operational capacity should the drought conditions persist throughout the summer months. The Ministry of Energy has yet to provide a definitive timeline for a full resumption of operations, pending further stabilization of the Danube's water levels and a comprehensive safety review of the cooling systems. The United Arab Emirates has issued a strong condemnation following a hostile attack on 2 vessels affiliated with the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, known as ADNOC. According to the Qatar news agency, the incident occurred as the tankers were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Official reports confirm that while the vessels were targeted, there have been no injuries reported among the crews. The UAE government has denounced the aggression, characterizing the act as a direct violation of maritime security and international navigation norms. The Strait of Hormuz remains a critical global choke point for energy supplies, and this incident has prompted immediate concerns regarding the safety of commercial shipping lanes in the region. Authorities in Abu Dhabi are currently coordinating with international maritime partners to assess the extent of the damage to the vessels and to ensure the continued security of transit operations. While the situation remains under investigation, the UAE has reiterated its commitment to protecting its national assets and maintaining the stability of maritime traffic. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the strike, and regional observers are closely monitoring for further developments as the UAE continues to evaluate its response to this breach of maritime safety protocols. United States Central Command has officially announced the establishment of its first multinational task force dedicated to the integration and operation of one-way attack drone systems. According to Q&A, the initiative, designated as the Falcon Strike Drone Task Force, aims to bolster regional security through enhanced cooperation with international partners. The announcement, originating from Florida on August 14, marks a significant shift in CENTCOM's strategic approach to modern aerial warfare, focusing on the deployment of unmanned systems to address evolving security challenges across the area of responsibility. By formalizing this task force, the United States seeks to streamline the coordination of drone operations alongside regional allies, ensuring a unified response capability against potential threats. While specific details regarding the exact composition of the participating nations remain limited, the move underscores a broader commitment to integrating advanced technology into existing defense frameworks. Military analysts suggest that this development reflects a growing emphasis on asymmetric warfare capabilities and the necessity for interoperability among coalition forces in the region. CENTCOM officials indicated that the task force will prioritize training, intelligence sharing, and the synchronized deployment of one-way attack drones to maintain stability and deter hostile activities within the operational theater. A fractured engine fan blade has been identified as the primary cause of the mid-air window failure on a Ryanair flight traveling from Greece to Germany last month. According to a preliminary report released by United States investigators, the mechanical failure led to the structural compromise of the aircraft's window, an incident that resulted in a passenger being partially pulled from the cabin. The report details that the fan blade suffered a catastrophic break during the flight, causing debris to impact the fuselage and shatter the reinforced glass. While the investigation remains ongoing, the findings provide the first official technical explanation for the decompression event that forced an emergency landing. Aviation safety experts are now reviewing the maintenance history of the specific engine model involved to determine if this was an isolated manufacturing defect or a broader systemic issue affecting the fleet. The airline has stated it is cooperating fully with international aviation authorities to ensure all necessary safety protocols are updated. No fatalities were reported in the incident, though the event has prompted renewed scrutiny regarding engine durability standards for commercial narrow-body aircraft operating across European routes. Further analysis of the engine components is expected to be published in the coming weeks. A jury in Chicago has awarded $29 million in damages to the family of an Irish man killed in the 2019 Ethiopian Airlines crash. According to the BBC, the verdict follows a civil lawsuit brought against Boeing by Nawaz Connolly Ryan, the widow of Michael Ryan, who was among the 157 people who lost their lives when the 737 MAX aircraft went down shortly after takeoff from Addis Ababa. The legal proceedings focused on the manufacturer's liability regarding the flight control system, known as MCOS, which was implicated in both the Ethiopian Airlines disaster and a similar crash involving a Lion Air flight in Indonesia just months earlier. While Boeing has previously reached settlements with many families of the victims, this case proceeded to a jury trial to determine the specific financial compensation for the Ryan family. The award covers various damages related to the loss of life and the impact on the surviving family members. Boeing has faced extensive scrutiny and multiple legal challenges globally since the grounding of the 737 MAX fleet. The company has not yet issued a formal statement regarding whether it intends to appeal the Chicago jury's decision, though it has previously acknowledged errors in the development of the aircraft. Air India has announced plans to implement mandatory drug testing for its entire pilot workforce following a concerning mid-air incident last week. According to reports from the BBC, the airline is moving to screen all flight crew members for banned substances to ensure strict adherence to safety protocols. This decision follows an event in which one of the carrier's aircraft experienced a sudden and significant loss of altitude during a scheduled flight. The unexpected maneuver resulted in injuries to a number of passengers on board, prompting an immediate internal review of operational standards. While the airline has not yet released specific details regarding the timeline for these new testing procedures, the move is widely viewed as a proactive measure to restore passenger confidence and address potential safety lapses. Aviation authorities are currently investigating the circumstances surrounding the altitude drop to determine if human error or technical failure played a role. The airline maintains that the safety of its passengers and crew remains its highest priority, and it is cooperating fully with regulatory bodies as the investigation continues. Further updates are expected as the airline finalizes its new testing framework and shares findings from the ongoing safety audit. Thank you for joining us for this verified update on today's global events. We remain committed to bringing you the facts as they happen. NoorNews, verified before published.